just out there trying to find a solution. Position swap.
I think it actually shows. Just say, okay.
Work it out.
It's scaring me that just put rest.
And he hasn't had that much time to adapt. Same thing.
It's like something's good though. They're just going to cycle the.
Well, the other scary thing is, try that. Sock and struggle. Weeks later, they expand.
I think it's better though.
We can actually draft Vega. If it goes for 100% win rate,
10 seconds
the Ember
remaining.
Spear, they can definitely win here again. This time there's no
5
Brood ban, by the
remaining.
way. It's an I Wanna Do by Empire. Night Stalker actually getting
Reserve
banned. First
time.
phase.
I don't.
Exactly. Oh, if they want to pick it up themselves.
Yes, it's not them.
Mac hasn't played Brood. I believe he did.
No, I know Mike, but
I mean, sorry, I don't mean Mac. I mean, yes, I believe he played it at least once. But again, it's not one of their. I'm not sure if he would want. Apparently, Vega is.
this looks very similar.
It,
Almost exactly. I think the Tusk and the Green Hammer the other way.
that is correct. That is the only difference we see from the draft so far.
So that means that they've identified these. They is not talking. It's something else. I think you can make a quap against Ember. It's the
10
same thing.
seconds
Arcade,
remaining.
you just own the game. We saw that. The South America.
They kind of forced the.
Forces them to get, which is a good. It's two shot by. It's like, who's the other? Just issue perhaps. They need a different hero.
10
I really
seconds
like the
remaining.
Rubik as well, so that could
5
fight
seconds
Or
remaining.
support that.
or support that can fight her.
Or
Yeah.
support that.
Yeah.
Or, and
Reserve
stun him
time.
for 2 seconds, but
I like his silence. Amazing and
Wasn't
stuff.
my idea. Did I?
You said it earlier.
I would love to
Good
take.
job, Kevin.
I would love to take credit for it.
Crashing on whatever this because the Braves in the last was so good.
We see any chance of Alchemist coming out?
almost every single.
AA also
That's it.
stops
10 seconds remaining.
Latin, so pushing in the
5 seconds remaining.
But
Reserve
yeah,
time.
as we just saw, actually, in Alchemist was completely ignored previous. Not bad, nothing.
Given the fact that we see fights so both of these seem or is
Yeah,
Alchemist
yeah.
a hero that you these type of games?
I guess it's pretty.
It shouldn't
Yeah.
be too late, and at the same time, you will have a country presence spray. Just at the same time, you're gonna get kited so much. You're gonna get
okay.
kited a lot.
Alright, you know,
Are we watching replay?
while this looks boring in the sense that it's the same picks, I find this interesting because it's very easy to follow to say, like, hey, we basically get to see a team that lost to a strategy and they say what we have done differently,
Yeah.
and they can adapt exactly how they want. Analyze it completely. They're basically doing scrim practice right now. This game of admin, our second support was a silencer. To see that, you can see how that adapts.
Beastmaster.
Yeah,
Also,
actually, it's very
Earthshaker
interesting.
instead of the blue.
I think it's going to be a support.
Earthshaker instead of.
Yeah, 'cause Earthshaker was on Vega
You're right.
last
You're right.
time.
Earthshaker was on.
But this time we'll have Beastmaster. I really like Beastmaster actually. Mag's heroes.
Yes.
10
Mags,
seconds remaining.
Plate heroes actually for the like. Heroes.
5
relevant
seconds
previous.
remaining.
They're also
meta, I guess.
100% with the hero.
And they're also 100% with the hero. There you go.
Thorns.
Reserve
And
time.
actually, we've seen Beastmaster a lot more in 2 days. I mean, we've seen play it. There's a lot of there, and I really think that's really scary on this hero. So I like Vega's draft already.
In the set yesterday, though, against Alliance, both.
Yeah.
It really did. Felt
Yeah, that's true.
just like Bruno Bulldog is consistently top. Beastmaster, he
I actually Joro versus Beastman.
was tougher. You still gotta beat.
The silencer is. It makes Beastmaster's life a lot harder.
I feel in the silencer, it
10 seconds remaining.
is
5 seconds remaining.
a team fight.
They have a
Reserve
better
time.
plan.
They have lots of stuns and silences. Is a
That should be glad.
I think it's pretty good against all.
Was lane you in the safe lane, so Vega is looking.
Yeah.
Unless they do. I've seen support Beastmaster before. It's not very good.
We've seen mid beast.
Also, like very. Yes. They have a lot of magical. Lacking early.
Well, last game they had something to set up
PL
for
would be
the.
pretty good. You could defeat the silence. It's bad against Archer.
DK or Viper says.
you know what? Let's say DK.
Yeah.
I like DK.
We mentioned DK in this draft as well. Still a very good early fighting hero.
Rascal's point. DK just gets to be ready to party.
Centaur.
If Viper just gets a mech, it's still without.
Vega's most pick hero in 6.84 as well, so they
10 seconds remaining.
play it.
Sven stands ready.
It's a Sven.
Okay.
Get the extra armor from the Sven.
How do you lane this now?
Limits.
Beastmaster.
Black
Beastmaster mid. It's 9
Emperor
Pasha
mid.
on the Sven. It's a 4 Sven and it
Support a lot.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Yeah.
Send.
We had Dazzle in the middle of the DA previous game as well, so he helped them route. So with the draft done, Shane, do you really want to
I'm sticking with. I know.
really want to stick with Empire all the way?
I really think they can do. The silencer is the
Is it
core
key?
component missed in the last,
Okay,
and they got silent on a hero like.
I respect
200
stick to your
times.
guns. We'll see how it works out. First. Okay, for me?
That's well. What is it for now?
Yeah,
Maybe
so.
Flat Cannon does no damage. But
No damage.
I will side. Sorry, Shane.
Lame.
We'll go for Vega. We'll see what our commentators think. It's time for game number 2. It is Vega versus Team Empire with Odie Pixel and Draskell.
Hello lads and ladies, welcome back to the casting desk here at DreamLeague. I'm Odie Pixel, I'm here with Draskell, and we're ready to get ourselves into game number 2 between Vega and Empire. There's currently a pause, so we're not going to go straight into game right yet. But Andy, let's expand.
And then I was thinking to myself, alright, so obviously in the second game, it was pretty interesting to me how it developed, because in the previous game, Empire thought the main issue was the TA.
Yes.
Like the Ember
TA
Spirit
break.
in conjunction with a Templar Assassin and the chain stun that they had that Kevin was talking about on the couch proved to be too much. Queen and the AM to be able to carry. And at some point in the draft, Empire banned out AM as a last-ditch effort. Or no, excuse me, Vega banned out AM as a last-ditch effort to take it away from Empire, of course. Because they realized in this game they have a lot less in terms of burst damage to deal with the hero in general, which I thought was great. And then I was at a point where I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, well, Shadow Fiend's banned, right? Empire already have Queen of Pain. They needed to be able to put something mid that was going to have high physical damage to a single target to be able to deal with the gyro. And that's why I kind of was leaning towards either DK or the Viper, because both of these heroes excel against Viper. One, you can Viper strike, gyro, and walk away.
It's true.
Right? And the other one is just, okay, well, Viper builds mech, but at some stage in the game, you're going to have enough physical DPS to actually take him down. And I think that's where they were kind of struggling. So then they just picked Sven. And Sven obviously hits really damn hard.
He really does. And, I mean, I could be honest, we actually saw Sven here this morning in Chinese games, and we saw quite interesting, but I think it was actually picked up against Jaro or something similar. The game has started, so we get ourselves in it so you guys can follow along. But it was an interesting skill build where he maxes out the cleave and the battle cry. He gets 1 point in Stormhammer, gets that Mask of Madness BKB build. He is pretty much ready to fight. He only gets that of course because it's 2-second duration at all levels. You don't need the extra damage when you're able to get it through, and just the sustainability of maxing out Warcry early is ridiculous. As they were saying, 20 armor. That's a lot of armor.
Yeah, it does pretty much negate Flat Cannon during, well, even the mid to late game stages. 20 armor is nothing to shake a stick at, and that's not even accounting for Weave either.
Oh, with the Dazzle as well. I mean, that's going to be disgusting.
It's going to be pretty
I have
nuts.
armor for days here.
There is a really big downside, though, to picking Sven in this game, and it's not the fact that the hero itself is bad, it's that it forces an Ember versus Queen matchup, and that's going to heavily favor Empire. So I'm really curious to see how Vega want to deal with that during the early game. I think that Max Beastmaster is phenomenal. He excels at the hero, he has an insane win rate. I think Lumi said they were 4-0 in this patch, so that's going to be great for them. But I think the mid is going to be maybe a little bit of a problem this time for Vega.
Let's see how it goes on. So far at the moment, Empire. The top, Vega looking towards the bottom, so it doesn't look like we're going to see a bounty rune. Unless Beastmaster decides to make the walk out for this rune here. I'm sure Mag will be of that.
The battle begins.
So, themselves to top, Vega wants
The
themselves to the
worthy
bottom.
tribute.
Give it.
Noting in terms of lanes, it's going to be Mag on the solo safe lane. Running something aggressive down here.
Alright, so their solution to the matchup of having the Ember have to go mid is just do a 2-2-1. Because on paper, Ember gets absolutely crushed by Queen of Pain in a way. Really bad base armor, you can't take harass. He's even preemptively skilled up Sleight of Fist to try to disjoint any of the Shadow Strikes that are going to be coming his way. But this matchup in general is always very, very difficult for the Ember Spirit player, even with a pool, as he's been started with, gets to come to lane. 4-man shield, so that's going to be nice. Vega, in the meantime, they are going to be forcing an aggressive situation here bottom.
Okay, and in terms of kind of this trial versus trial situation, do you think Vega have what it takes to come out on top of this aggression, or are Empire going to be able to play defensive enough to kind of get the farm still on silent, and this aggressive lineup isn't going to be too much of an issue for the gyro?
Whenever I say tri-lane versus tri-lane, the normal thing that I look at is what level does what team need to kill, right? So Vega, they're going to need minimum level 2, because Solo needs both of its spells. And Pasha needs Warcry and Stun to be able to really go on somebody. The other thing is their carry ranged? Well, obviously for Vega it's not, it's just a Sven. And then Silent is Gyrocopter, so he should have an easier time farming if the supports are sticking around. But as it stands right now, Aloha Dance both and No Fear are being very passive, so at the moment, Silent is having a hard time to see us.
Of course, the lane that we haven't mentioned, this top lane. The shards have just come out to block onto Mac. But the question is, of course, with this is we do apologise, we just been seeing some stuff back in.
All picnics.
But you're missing nothing. So, there we're fine, we're back in. So you missed nothing. I wasn't even lying. You might be back for this. Solo's giving them the walk around here. The glaives are flying through. Solo's going to be fine. But yeah, so, are we selling on down here? It looks like we're selling. So the top lane, Beastmaster against the Tusk. We know how good Max Beastmaster is. I mean, he's top of the CS board already, but the Tusk is still finding a fair bit of farm as well.
Yes.
But I would imagine Mag to come out on top there.
Yeah, for sure. Like, there's no question Beastmaster is going to excel in this 1v1 at the bottom.
They get the light strike onto No Fear. The flip box as well. It's going to go down. That's your first one down. Silent trying to turn it around with the rocket barrage. Silent's incredibly low here, takes the lunges, gets the rocket, but it's a nice connect onto a low one. So it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. The rocket barrage is coming out against Seamus. They don't have the shallow grave there, but he may still just go down. Silent's trying to desperately chase it. Seamus is holding up, looking for the juke through the tree lines. It's not going to work. He's going to go. It's 2 for 2. 9 Bashi incredibly low. So they just come back into lane. So it's a 2 for 2 on that bottom lane there, but Vega were able to pick up the first block themselves.
If that stun didn't miss, would have been so much better for Vega. I think Solo probably would have lived, and they would have gotten 2, maybe for 1 instead.
This bottom lane, I don't think you want a man up here wrestling. She's going to go in with a snow, but I think he may just hit it. Punch to the face with the axe, and he's going to get himself a solo kill there. It was a very, very close engagement, but of course coming out on top, and that's pretty big, giving away a kill in a 1-1 situation.
Yeah, Mag, of course, has the base armor advantage, the auto attack advantage, and, well, pretty much the everything advantage, actually, is Beastmaster in that matchup, and now he's also going to be level 5 as opposed to level 4. So for now, Vega's lane's going pretty much the way that we expected.
Yeah.
Even trade and bottom, and middle lane is the only one where we're kind of suffering, but we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just look at nice left 30. Bottom lane going on to side, the large track array, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a dead Jericho. Just another kill here for Vega on this aggressive tri lane. With that, of course, starting to come out on top of Vega, as you said, how this lane's going.
Yeah, now that they have the level advantage, there is a huge problem for Empire. Like, what is their counter to this? Like, the Shaker's still on level 2, the Silencer's getting close to level 3, but he hasn't actually put anything into last word right now, so instead of being able to stop, like, a Lina combo, for example, he can only throw out a curse that gets immediately dispelled as soon as the enemy team goes in. I really gotta question the fact that No Fear has skipped last word in this situation, especially against a hero like Lina, or even like Dazzle. You put it on Dazzle before the fight starts, then he can't grave on time. Maybe you actually get a kill instead of the grave coming out and you trading. So, I don't know. I think the tri lane for Empire is kind of struggling at the moment, and they're going to have to hope that Yoku can bail them out.
Yeah, I guess Yoku is kind of going to be the big this game. He gets a good time in the mid lane, he's going to be able to make those rotations and crush, you know, the tri lane of 40-man Sonic Waves. Silent moving in, the Bishop is going to be a little unfortunate though. Solo's on the right side for himself, mid lane Yoku aggressive onto no one. Looks like we're going to see a rotation from Solo, in fact, moving towards them. Realises the quadrant is at less than 50% out. Just received the bottom, so we'll start to charge up. Moving in. Find a slight abyss change combo, they can follow 2 from the lead. Case bottom lane. So just raise the mid lane, they're going to go for it. They find the stun, and that's going to be a dead Joku. Oh, they stop! Okay! Just getting himself out. Alrighty, on the by the skin of his teeth there. Escape, but that's going to give some space, of course. The Everspread is forced to go back. And with that, Tusking is actually going to TP into the mid lane, look to find some farm there instead. And this, of course, in turn is going to give lots more space to Mag. Mag, historically, in DreamLeague games, he is known for getting a ridiculously good time in his Necro, but this game isn't going to be an exception.
Totally agree. He's 29 and 9 right now at under 6 minutes, so he is definitely getting the better of that solar exchange. And I'm still kind of waiting for Yoku to have some impact here. He is level 6. He has his ultimate available. I really do feel like if he doesn't have a great game, I think Empire are going to be struggling a bit. Silent is still farming alright. I mean, it's not like super bad or anything.
He's not going to get a chance to get that one out. Surely on maybe he can. No, yes, he can. He gets it out inside. And then he's around a huge Ram Spirit, turning into the fight, closing onto a lower dance. Lower dance is going to be able to get himself on the series chase. Now onto Silent. Silent getting like a slap, bringing him down. The life trap's going to miss the chasing him. Passion will find the kill. There's a storm out onto Nopit. They're going to look to chase this. They'll probably dive the tower here. He's about turns around. Is it going to be enough? The strike is to finish him off. So it's a 2-for-1 trade there on the bottom lane. Vega finding the Jar and the Silencer and only losing the Dazzle for it.
I really like that no one was moving down towards the bottom burner just in the same time as that fight kind of kicked off. And I mean, I feel like, oh, alright, solo kill.
Yeah, Mag, he's obviously hits the 6 and straight in with the Primal Roar, level 8 at the moment as well, this guy. Look how much money he's got, 1800!
He's freaking rich. He's almost got his book 1.
Does he still get the book 1 at this point? Does he say, I've got this much gold, I'll get a blink?
No, you definitely get book.
You always get the book.
He's already got the belt anyway.
Yeah.
Like, if you have book this early, there is almost no way Empire can deal with that. Like, you're gonna have book 3 at what, like 15 minutes to keep up this rate of farm? That's completely ridiculous.
I've said it before, I just don't remember seeing time. I've said about 4 some pieces of stuff. Barrage to find close as a return kill, and that's a big kill. Getting 9 Pashi there on that position 1 Sven. So they do find a good trade here this time, Empire rotations. But yeah, Mag Beastmaster is something that you've got to be very scared about playing against him. Especially when he gets to start like this. Necro Book, right around the corner for this man who's taking this. Well, right around the corner, Vega, wrapping around into Yoku. Can they control him long enough to kill him? No, again, he gets the blink off. Just in time. All he had to bottle up through the poison damage.
Is under attack.
That's the second time we've seen him escape, literally by a slither of hell.
His magic stick is MVP, like 100%. He's lived 2 times in a row because of sticks, so.
He's got a in as well. He's got a Sonic Wave. He wants to do some big blinks forward. Nice control of the burst there. Straight in to escape with the Ember Spirit. At the same time, so we'll find a kill onto Lina as well. So 2 more kills on the board for Empire here. It's going to be a sort of haste room. He does have a... He is on his own though.
He's got a haste.
He has everyone low enough that he could just...
He wants Yoku so bad.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Not going to be able to find anything. All the 2 groups up the side of Empire. There's 6 at the moment. Let's just try and wrap around the top. We've got the Sven now farming the top lane. 9 and Pashu Bashu. Getting some space up there and getting the force on us to tower. And we're also having the TP in from Dazzler as well, so it looks like Vega want to try and take this tier 1, and they are certainly ready for a fight if it does kick off. Let's see Mag just dive in with once resolution. He's trying to get himself in position. Does have that Hawk camp.
It's a tricky hero to dive though. You have to be very careful about throwing a Sven stun onto a Tusk because it's a super easy stun that is joined for him. Doing that, like putting yourself in a snowball, buys ample time for teleport reactions coming in from there. So I think Vega are probably going to decide against that and maybe just prioritize Mag continuing his farm. If he's had such a good start, I don't really see much of a reason for him to roll much. If you can just get that book 3 going, you can just mow down towers, take Roshan, like do whatever you want. So I think this man might be dead. There's a cooldown coming in front of the large truck. It does catch onto a low does, but Silent chases it down. You'll take the kill to Nina. Top lane, we see them finally going on to the resolution. They've got the wall, they've got a storm hammer as well to make sure no funky business comes out in terms of the snowball. There's a one across the map. You can see Mag starting to get a bit of pressure on this tower with the Necro Books out with the Sven joining forces. She must find the tier 1. Mid lane, Yoku trying to move it up to no one. He's bottling up. Himself
Radiant's
back
top
into
tower
so he's
has
fine.
fallen.
Just quite the burst damage. Hasn't got that Sonic Wave yet.
Dire's
Again.
bottom tower is under attack.
9 for 7. Vega's still slightly in the lead, but once again, it's a close game like game 1. Empire's still getting a decent amount of farm on both of them.
It's very close. After the landing phase is kind of broken down, Empire actually made a comeback in the form of getting that solo kill on no one, which was huge. And the resolution solo picking off the Lina in the bottom rune, so they've made a decent way of clawing their way back into the game after not a great night for resolution.
He's not able to dodge it, and love fighting in the slam. I think he still goes down there. So we'll do see the slam finish that off. There's a nice coming in with the Fisher setting it up, connected to Pashi. They find the kill on Sven. Favourable trade it for Empire. See if they can find anything more as well. Well, we don't do that. No one's right. He will have to shell a grave out. Certainly going to Ancients. He was trying his best.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Very interesting. Actually, I don't know if Resolution had it either. He had a bottle. So like you can bottle and immediately snowball, right? Which means that he can survive like maybe 1-2 autos once he gets out of the snowball because he went on to the range hero instead of Sven.
They roll straight up onto Yoku with the remnants. Yes, they do. The access to pull up his ball back. We'll find the kill onto the quad. It was a nice attempt to kind of destroy the action there with the Fisher, but they didn't anticipate the fact that it was coming in as well. And then just use combo out.
And that's book 2 for Meg.
Book 2 already, 11 minutes in.
Yep.
I mean, this is the definition of disgust.
The thing is, not only does he get a kill with his book, but he's also going to be able to apply a little bit of tower pressure too, which is just added benefit, right? And this is one of the strengths of having it so early.
Online as well. Silent needs to be a bit careful because we do have that Laguna Blade now online.
Radiant's top tower is under
he hits
attack.
level 6, so they've got to be careful across the map here. And he is picking up an Ogre Club on top of the belt, so it looks like he is just going for the straight up Sanji, just looking to tank up against the burst of late.
I don't mind that so much actually. No, no one, no mana.
Just looking to secure the rune.
The rune of illusion.
Doesn't find the illusion, blow himself up. Lane, for the Silence to come in, he has hit 6 himself. They do have the global online here.
Yeah, global's the main reason why I think that Sandra's still fine.
Ooh, thanks.
If he was against anything that didn't have a silencer, I would say that BKB is almost mandatory this game, just for the sheer amount of magic damage and lock. Well-placed global can completely turn a fight and lets him build a tad bit more greedy.
Jungle a bit around here. Vega. Mag does have the fire. Pretty consistent fight. Now, not if they lose hero straight off the back. The cooldown comes in though, and the global science as well. The slow cadets go to sort of Mag against Snowball to the face. Now Yoku wrapping in. They found a second kill. They're also going to find a third on the surface. Mag trying to get away here. Very nice. But look at the Silent. Not a Night Bashy moving in. Silent's trying to get himself out. And a Night Bashy turning up to the fight at the right time, and if they can get this fourth kill, they're going to take the trade 4 for 3. The rest of they're shooting it. It's going to seal the deal. Double kill here from Sven. What a time for Sven to turn up with a God Strength.
God, that was pretty much the dream for a Sven. Seeing an entire team standing on top of each other. There's not many situations where that happens unless your team has a Darkseer or something, so very
Radiant's
fortunate,
bottom
because
tower
otherwise
is under
Empire would have
attack.
walked away from that fight pretty much losing nothing if they hadn't had the last two react from the side of Vegas. So nice that they were able to make something happen out of a bad situation, and does secure the drums and the phase boots now for. And he has been
Radiant's bottom
crazy
tower
active
is under
these
attack.
games, even when he's playing safe lane. Like, he is always in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, this is the
Dire's
kind of play
middle
style we
tower is
expect to
under
see from Vega. They're very good at this kind of just putting pressure on points across the map and kind of never letting off the other team. And constantly forcing opponents to think very carefully before they tread. Fire are starting to. We do have close to level 11. It's okay, just
Radiant's
picked up
bottom
a
tower is
the
under
second part of
attack.
the Sonic Wave. Cool down still for 50 seconds. Bottom lane, Vega looking to take a tower for themselves. Find it, more
Radiant's
money to
bottom
pocket
tower
with Dazzle.
has fallen.
So they might be able to defend mid as well, because we've got Mag hanging around on the Beastmasters, so when they get to find a trade in, they've got a Roar, they're trying to set up onto Yoku, they're going to need the Remnant to follow through the series chase and can't quite make it. Blink is out just in time for the Quap.
That was real damn close, like maybe a half a second sooner and he would have. But they want to pressure because they know Global's down, they know Echo's down.
See a lower dance and they want his blood. Give it straight.
Radiant structures are
A lower dance,
fortified.
he's going to need to react a little bit quicker. The light strike to follow up, there's no chance for him to get out any of his spells. And the Earthshaker is dead.
Dire's structures
They'll also
are
find the
fortified.
tower there with the push of the Necro units on this Beastmaster, so Vega continuing to maintain map control. And Empire, they look for the trades. This time they tried to go for the tier 1 top of the TPs are there. And Vega are just not letting Empire take a single tower. And look at this wraparound from the side of Vega. Around the back here. Luckily for Empire, they realise they're wiser to do TP out. They're not going to walk straight back into this one. Vega won't find anything. But nonetheless, 16 to 12, Vega are going to be very happy with the way this game's going. As we can see on the XP and gold graph, it is starting to tailor off in favour of Vega for these players. Number 1, the Global Silence comes out. There's the Snowball forward as well. They do find the stun. Global's got to be coming off now. Now Bashy turns into the front line. Just not much trend resolution. They move into the damage from this event. Pretty significant now with the God Strength. They'll find the kill onto Tusk. I mean, that's going to be the Global again, used by Silencer, but Empire just unable to find anything off the back of it.
They want to go ahead.
What's going on there, Vega? I mean, Mag might be able to clean up something here. He's looking for Silent. You want to find him with his Necro units. It's ridiculous the amount of damage he can output on top of the Primal Roar. So they do find something else. They do get the big kill on the chart, but Vega didn't necessarily need to do that.
They really wanted to all stand on top of an Earthshaker who had Echo for some reason. I don't know why, but that's pretty much what happened, and it wasn't great.
It was not great.
Because as soon as you eat that Echo, there's 2 points in Aftershock, which is a full stun.
Tusk. Okay,
He wants the gold from the book. Not going to be able to get it, fortunately. And Mag, once again, the savior that Vega.
Yes, the fact that he gave me already ends.
But they didn't deserve, right? They did not deserve him cleaning up their mess. But now that he has the book 3, Roshan is now on the table for Vega. You got the plus armor coming out from the Sven, you got Dazzle, of course, on top of that. So it shouldn't be too hard for them to secure it. Honestly though, if they do that again, like sure, they're ahead, but you can't just tower dive on top of a shaker and expect to walk away from it.
Top lane, no one's trying to go for a bit of action here onto Resolution. Resolution turns around the punch, no one just getting the old run down here. It's got a slight steering to the seconds, but Silence has turned up. The steering chains aren't going to latch onto the Tusk, so Tusk is going to be fine. Or just has to get himself out of this one. Stick around with the Silencer, and now pretty much the rest of Empire turning as well with Shaker and Gyro. Silent and Low Darts ready to get the push on top.
Silent getting closer to that BKB means that Empire's teamfight potential is going to be even higher, so maybe Vega a little bit under the gun for the first time this game. They had been running pretty relentless in their aggression for the first 10-15 minutes or so, but this is the first time where we actually see Empire coming out in force.
Smokes up, Mag. Team Resolution a little bit close to the tower. The Silence is going to come out to kick this one off. Resolution will get the snowball across. There's a cooldown though. It's going to hit onto all three heroes. They're going to throw from Mag. The Weave starting to come out as well. The Silent is just melting to the right click, so he's going to get himself out. He's not going to be able to. He goes down. Just in time to catch the TVO this Shaker, and they'll get themselves a third kill here in this fight. I mean, it seems like when the Global Silence comes out, it's always Vega winning a box somehow. They just kind of wait it off. Empire don't really have the damage out, but they get a cooldown down, which is nice.
Bottom tower
But there's just not the follow-up, and
Dire's top tower.
Ives and Solo get a solo kill. They gets a bit of backup there for no one, and it was needed. So there's a fair bit of help on this Queen of Pain, but that's where you're kind of reasserting their dominance after that bit of a flop fight in the mid lane. 4 heroes down on the side of Empire, and can't take a single one.
They almost got the Sven, but a very nicely placed grave coming out from Sema. The problem is the global has to basically be perfect, or it needs to be used in a way where the Tusk is going in, and then you punch, you line up your Sonic Wave with the Queen, you line up like a fissure and a call down, and you can just kill somebody before it wears off. Because if it doesn't, Sema's always been very nicely positioned, standing in the back, waiting to throw out that defensive grave to save a hero. In this case, it was Pasha. But if that doesn't happen, then yeah, the global is pretty much a waste. So I feel like Empire have yet to fully utilize the global. I think the only one that we saw this game that actually ended up being fruitful was when they were in their own woods. And they threw out the global like just when he hit 6, I think, and ended up getting a kill or 2 based on that. But now, Vega, we talked about their ability to do Roshan. They got that mass armor from the battle cry, and there is now a blink on this Sven.
Mag, here we go with it. Ridiculous.
It's level 3 book. He had it under 16 minutes. He has 4 points right now into Inner Beast. He just does a ridiculous amount of damage. He can solo kill basically anyone on Empire.
It's pretty damn cool. They get themselves a kill. And themselves to Roshan here as well. Amber's going to be the one holding that Aegis. Of course, this Volatility is going to go for the Mantis now. I guess, of course, this is just the Silencer being a bit of an annoyance.
Well, he knows that he doesn't really need to deal that much damage right now. Just being alive, being able to throw out a lot of Sleight of Fists, a lot of Searing Chains, setting up the stun for the Lina, for example, or even Pasha to go in if he wants to blink and throw out a Stormhammer on top of that. That in of itself is already enough damage because no one on the side of Empire has a BKB yet. The only one who's going to have it is going to be Silent, and the rest of the heroes can just die to that chain of initiation, so I feel this choice is fine. And they already have enough, I feel, to go high ground just by having the Beastmaster, so for Empire, they can pit some kind of strong defense against this Aegis push.
Let's see what Empire can do here then. Edging out of the base, they are very aware of the fact Vega are hanging that blink on the Sven, who's now been popped down as well. So Vega are ready for fight. Mag also has the raw.
He's got a blink too.
We've got to be so careful here as Empire. It's going to be very hard for them to defend this tier 2, especially the fact that they're going to this is still a long way away from that. Yes, sir, he changed it. There's your follow-up, and Earthshaker taking the raw ways every time. He goes straight in with the start. Just get out the global. Won't actually go down here. Pasha, unable to get the final strike on. The cooldown will come in. Top to Pasha's just going to run off with the raw cry here. So Vega, they do only find the kill onto the Shaker. They force out the global silence. They'll also be able to find this tier 2 here in the mid lane as well.
I think that had to have been a misclick from Pasha. He got global and then he just like stood there for a second or 2 without doing anything. Didn't end up hitting No Fear one more time for a free kill, but we just saw a perfect example of what I was saying right there. He gets a Sleight of Fist and a Chains onto the Shaker, and then the Shaker just dies. Like, he has no counterplay to that whatsoever, unless the silence comes out at a perfect moment. So I feel like utilizing the global silence in a defensive manner this game is much more difficult than just having Resolution go in with the snowball and just globaling on that. Like, that has to be the way the Empire play this, because if they don't, They're always fighting a 5v5 that they can't win. They need to kill somebody before the fight even starts.
They do. Every 5v5 we've seen them take has pretty much always gone the side of Vega. Starting to break away a bit in terms of overall goal, but 7.5k for the side. But certainly not an irrecoverable lead here against Empire. Empire standing strong in the mid lane.
Dire's middle tower
See
is
what they're
under
able
attack.
to achieve next. Resolution closing in the net. Let's see. We've got the blink dagger on the Shaker is going to be pretty big if they can mine and
He's so poor.
That's the thing.
He's got
He is a lot
380 gold.
I mean, he is taking all the hate from this.
Oh, silent.
Oh, stormy!
That is such a ballsy smoke, by the way. That was a two-man smoke with absolutely no vision in their jungle. And they didn't even see anybody in the lane at the top, and they were just like, yeah, whatever, we'll just be two-man smoked here. Like, who does that? Like, who does that? I guess apparently they can
Rune
do
of
and they make
double
it work.
damage.
Alright. Okay. I mean, silent death for 30 seconds. This is pushing. This is even the time where Vega may just take themselves another tier 2 on the
Radiant's
side of
bottom
Empire.
tower
Because
is under
Empire,
attack.
they do not want to be defending this far outside of their base. They've pretty much got to hope to just take fights from the high ground there. So Bills Yoku in the mid lane, just nearly getting soloed here by Mag. Will have to blink away and TP himself right back to base. Tier
Radiant's
2 going
bottom
down.
tower has fallen.
Top lane Lower Dust desperately trying to find some farm across the map. As we said about that blink dagger, he's still a fair bit away. But I mean, he might need to come back here because I don't think it doesn't look like Vega are going to slow down with this pressure at all. Straight onto the tier 3 here with this push.
The armor. They're all so tanky.
I mean, this is the point of the game where Empire are going to be very careful. Pull down out, there's so much armor. This side's just literally doing no physical damage at all. He's going to be used up here. The global coming out. Solo will mantle it off here, but the snowballs come out here. It's going straight across to the Lina. Wolf this time. Pull from Basher. He starts getting damage out to a low. Coming out from Solo. But he gets the first second summon. Now Sonic won't go for this. Global is still alive, but he's going to get shallow break up just in time. He'll continue to chase down Silent. Chains there, being incredibly bad. He's not just going down. He's got the edges. He's fine. Three back that's out on the side of Empire. They're desperate to take this fight, and they should be able to find the kill onto Nolan. Won't be able to get himself back. So they kill the Ember Spirit. Vega aren't able to find the rest. They did just find the tier 3 tower. They may even lose more here. Yoku, Blinky Fork, couldn't quite get a Shadow Strike off that. So he's going to TP out. But it's that's a dive. He frames himself there. So massive. He's a speed along the bugger. He's out of here. And I don't know if they're going to be able to catch him. They have a Fisher in a second. But I think it's just too far. He's just going to hide it with Matt. I mean,
He's got the book back up.
this is Solo. I don't know if this was the place to hide.
Yeah, he's
in the trees. Mac is dead.
That was 1100 gold.
There's a lot of heroes here.
He's so greedy right now. He's bad.
Sven's turned up.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Solo. He's still alive. He's just running circles around these guys. He's coming back in.
Alright.
Solo.
What's happening right now?
Is he going to go in?
Dire's top
He's
tower
in it.
is under attack.
Actually, we'll get the blink off before any of the damage sticks in. Solo's got a missile coming his way, but of course he's got the Euro sector.
Emperor's back. Emperor's back.
Alright. That was the definition of hand there from Solo. He was just showing no fear.
Yeah, but the thing is, Pasha blinked and stunned the wrong target. So, like, if he stunned the Shaker would have died for sure. And then I think they actually just chased that and killed everyone.
But I mean, at the same time, he stuns Silent on the jar, and if you don't stun Silent, I think Solo dies.
Nah, I think they would have killed the Shaker and Solo would have been fine, actually.
You reckon?
Yeah, I
Dire's
think
middle
it would have been
tower is
okay.
under
But
attack.
even in that sense, like, if you trade 1 for 1, I think it's... actually, that's better for Empire at this stage, considering how they get much more for a single kill than they can do. But still, they force 3 buybacks, like you mentioned, and that is a huge investment for defending your base. The thing is, Roshan is also going to be up in a minute and a half, give or take. And,
We'll see the time coming.
yeah, or no, actually, it hasn't gone to the point where you can see the...
We don't know, like,
Yeah,
window.
so it's still maybe more like 4.5.
No one's found Resolution. Warps is past him. Resolution now's got a bit more of that haste. Turn around, get the shot. Someone needs to be a bit careful here. Gets the bad stuff. So don't begin, but there's a global silence, and the cooldown's going to come straight down on the atmosphere. No one's going to get taken down here. Big kill in the jar to pick up. Joker will be able to blink forward here, trying to find some more for the team. They do have a Sonic Wave. Solo will turn around with the large strike range. Ball chasing him down, and a Sonic Wave to the backside of Lina will take her down. So they get themselves another kill. Seema for a TP out. Have they got anything to cancel it? No, not in time. able to make his way out. And meanwhile, bot lane Mag is applying some pressure on the Beastmaster, but nonetheless, Empire finding themselves a couple of kills, and as you said, at this point when they are playing from behind, these kills mean a lot for Empire.
The other part of it too is Silent actually got
Dire's
credit for a
middle
lot of the
tower
big
has
priority
fallen.
kills, so when Mag died, he got that kill. He got almost 1,200 gold from that alone.
Dire's
And now he's
middle
got
tower is
BKB,
under
SNY,
attack.
and he's sitting on 1,500 gold. So we are reaching that stage of the game where Silent is a damage threat. Oh dear. Alright, they're actually
Stormy.
This is...
they're gonna lose Aloha Dance, I think, but
He gets out the Echo here, and the Fisher onto 2. He might even be able to wall this up yet. They don't want to jump in here, Vega, because the rest of Empire's turning up. They've just got to get themselves up. Empire wants to fight them. Moving forward, find the Suicide resolution, but the snowball is going to be there. We'll try and chase it down here with a flame cover. There's this War's flame to slow down no one. This charge. Very nice. And he finds himself one of these. He just had a haste through their resolution. He's got himself another one now, and he's on the run. Vega aren't going to be able to catch this. There's no more remnants here for no one. And resolution just getting pretty damn lucky with these runes.
yeah, he is the Rune Lord. Very, very lucky. Keep in mind, if he didn't have that nice ice shards, he might have not even gotten that rune. So it was a very, very close thing, but Vega just needs to take a step back for a second, just, you know, take a deep breath. Let's try not to 1v5 anymore, and just group up and do what they've been doing, because it's been working for them. The downside is, they've given so much gold away to Empire in the last, like, 5-8 minutes. Where that Shaker, who had 400 gold, is now only a couple hundred away from having a Blink Dagger. And stuff like that is game-changing. They only have, at this point in the game, 1 BKB. And that's going to be on the Sven, of course, but stuff like that means that you can defend the high ground for a very long period of time, and who knows, maybe Silent gets a damage item.
Maggie, he's been spotted out, and he's going to get
Stormy.
He's not really got a lot to answer to for that. 60 seconds now down, and these pickoffs are big for Empire. So we talked about Vega throwing away some very important kills, and that one on Mag certainly is one, because off the back of that, they're going to lose this tier
Dire's
2 on the
top
top lane
tower
almost
is under
certainly.
attack.
We'll see if Empire decide to go for more. We have got, in fact, Solo moving in very aggressively here. He's got to be careful.
Real careful.
I mean, if Resolution finds the shot, which he will.
Yeah, he's done.
He's got the yield to climb some TVs. I think I've no one coming out on TVs. Force pressure to Solo. The global silence coming out. This time is pretty damn big. There's already a kill on the silence. They pick up 2. They do lose the silence here. Now, Bashi, no one do. Quite a lot of TVs looking for the cleanup attention. He's trying to look for no one in Bashi, but they've got a hell of a lot of armor here. 30 armor at the moment on the Sven. Bashi trying to put silence. Silence just going to TP out of this one. Resolution will find the stuff with the snowball. He may very well pay of his life, but he has got a reason to complete the shots. Nice again, but the fish chains hits bang onto the turret. Quick sweep from the silver, and it's a triple kill for the Ember Spirit. So Vega do defend. But again, this is a pretty ham game. Back and forward, 26 to 34. It is still Vega with the lead, but it is starting to fall away, and we can see in terms of the individual hero net worth, it is Silence Jericho at the moment.
Worthy Dire's middle
So
tower.
they're going to start working towards that MK.
The problem that they're going to run into is, again, the Shaker being given so much gold. He did die there, but he's still 200 away, 250 away from the Blink Dagger, and I guess Viget for now realizing that Roshan is now on the table. They gotta go over there, they gotta take their advantage where they can find it. If for whatever reason Empire were able to get this particular Roshan, I think the game would actually be almost a ground zero. Like sure, a 5 or 6k golden experience lead is fairly large at this stage, but it is gonna be Roshan here for Vega, and because they used Global in the last fight, that is a tool that is so important for Empire to have, and they are not gonna have the utility of that in this fight, and I don't think they're gonna be able to contest because of it.
Heading over to they've got no inclination of it. Now here's that big iron we were talking about earlier. They've got the blink on the Shaker. We've seen him get up a couple of pretty impressive echoes now without the blink. Now with the blink, they've got to be very careful how they position themselves when they start to push in, as they have been.
That's a lot of small things this game. Like Empire were probably hoping to deal more damage than they did when they were diving into top, but because of the fact that the Sven and the Ember were both there and cleaned up 3 of the supports on the side of Empire, it just means that you go into the next fight without Global. They knew Roshan was going to be spawning too, that's why they wanted to take it, you know? We get 1 or 2 cores off the map for Vega, we secure Rosh for ourselves. But it didn't end up happening, and because they didn't have that big team fight ulti, they didn't feel confident in being able to take the fight, so now they have to potentially stop Vega pushing high ground with an Aegis and no tier 3 bottom.
This is going to be the test, really. This really is going to be the test at this point. Mag, skipping the creeps on the top lane. Got a pretty deep push from Empire, though. They managed to swing it right round towards the top. Pasha just going in for a quick swipe onto the racks.
They gotta wait for everyone to get here. Still, Mag sitting mid.
KB is done on the Gyro, so they do have a hefty bit of damage. We have talked before, obviously, with the Warcry and Weave, there's a lot of armor to negate that damage.
Yeah, I think honestly, it's still gonna hurt. Like,
Yes.
even if you have 20 armor, he hits for over 300 right now.
Oh yeah.
So Silent's still going to be dealing quite a bit of damage. And the other thing too is Warcry does have a radius, so he's not always going to be hitting everyone.
No.
Sometimes you have to use it just to initiate, and you might not hit like some of the supports, for example.
It looks like the pace is kind of slowed down now. You know, Vega playing it a little bit more safe.
Yeah.
Trying to throw away anything else. Mr. Bashu, 1400. You now have a Lincoln Sphere on your. Game's now done on the Lina though over the side of Vega. You see a level 15 as well, so she's close to that level 16. And this is going to be very nice, of course, against a lineup where they do have a Gyro that does have the BKB. So having that pure burst damage is going to be key here for the side of Vega. Now swapped up very aggressively into the jungle. To find a pick off onto Mag, but I think is he TPing out here? He is. Blinks straight to the T line, the tree line, and TPs straight away. It's going to be Vega here with the smoke.
They actually completely dodged them, so I don't think Silent has any idea that there's smoke just yet. Maybe soon. But he's going to be farming the Ancients, and I don't think the Hawk is seeing him yet, but if he moves it up, he will spot Silent, and that'll be a problem.
They can pick off Silent here.
Oh, the smoke broke. He has to know. He has to know where he is.
He's going to blink, surely. The pings are coming out. He's going to leave Vegas here straight in here, but the Silent's coming out in time. There's the BKB as well. Now with the cooldown, Silent maybe looking to tell this, but there's going to step in. The Echo Snap onto Mag with the enchanter. Comes down to shake another melt through the Earth Shaker. They'll find one given now. Double kill for Solo. Empire throwing away everything there. Even the leader Solo gets to
I'm pretty sure it hit healers.
This is funny.
Back on the side of Empire, by the way.
Okay. This could be fun, to say the least, for the Tusk. Let's see how he manages to man up here. They'll almost certainly lose the racks in the mid lane. Vega, they're going in. It's going to be shaking back a few flies. 16 seconds before the sun is back. He doesn't have that Echo Snap. That is really kind of the big cincher here. And they lose a second set of racks by the looks of it. Vega showing no signs of leaving off the base. They're ready to go full in. They'll get a second set. Saving grace here, of course, for Empire is the fact they still have that tier 2 on that top lane, so it isn't going to be possible for Vega to get the mega creeps. And it looks like Empire will be back up in time. But that is 2 full sets of racks down. That's going to be a very 35 minutes in. Going to go for anything more, no doubt. Vega don't want to throw this away. They don't want to go too ham. They're going to be happy with that. They're going to back up, they'll look towards the top lane, start to get that pushing in, and get themselves ready for round 2.
Man, that was such fortuitous smoke coming out from Vega. Say, for instance, Silent doesn't get caught for like another 5 or 10 seconds, maybe, right? And the rest of Empire is actually able to get there in time. I think that fight might have gone a little bit differently. Like, Aloha Dance got a pretty nice echo off, bought Silent some time. In the end, he ends up sacrificing his own life. And the main issue with stuff like that is that when you play Martyr and you throw an echo into a fight, you don't actually have any follow-up damage.
That's the issue.
So Silent wasn't able to sit there and just like auto during it, right? He obviously has to run because he realizes it's a 2v5, pretty much. And they expend global to keep him alive in the first place, so.
Well, there's an AC now, Mr. Passion.
Alright, so between just AC and Cry alone, he has 35 armor between those 2 things.
And there's also Beastmaster very close to refresher.
Yeah, and the Beastmaster also has Vlad, so that's another 5 armor.
Alright!
Yeah, so between the aura itself, which is 5,
It's a
from
lot of
AC,
armor!
yeah, you get 10 from the 2 auras I have, 20 from the Warcry. Pretty damn tanky. I really love the way that Vega drafted this game, though. They have a good split of magical damage and physical damage, so that any stage in the game, they can always take a fight. They have good control with the Beastmaster. They have good sustain with the Graves, of course, and the Shadow Wave coming from Seals.
He's got an echo. Wants to hold on to it though, there's going to be more turning up, but it is just the 2 of them here. Yoko and Aloha, he's trying to clear himself here. Jumping straight, there'll be a fish onto 2, because we'll blow the poison touch. Already got the shaker set, getting the hell out of here. Yoku. You're doing this one on his own. He'll look to blink into the tree line. Can they get anything in there to cancel it? They can't. They're just going to be fine. They do manage to get themselves out. Mag, is he going to look for a bit of a cheeky solo kill? No,
Radiant's
the
courier
courier
has been
your
killed.
hammer Iron Will is not coming to you today, sir.
Yeah.
And will be delayed on the delivery front. And Mag just walks into side. He says, why not? Let's have a bit of fun, bit of action. Try to time. He's going to die.
No, Roar lasts longer. Roar lasts longer.
Okay.
He's fine.
Jesus.
The dream.
Gee, that was close.
Yeah, but by the way, that's a diffusal blade on Dazzle.
Radiant's
I would love to see the stats on how many
attack.
games you're going to see this, because Global Silence is really annoying, so he just wants to purge it off and be able to cast Grave on somebody.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Very nice, actually, because it has no cooldown, so you can actually just spam it unlike the team. And when it does
Radiant's
that, you can just be like, dispel,
top tower
dispel,
is under
dispel.
attack.
It's true. It's true. Here we go. Vega. Run away the tier 3. Fire. They do have the slam. It's going to be all about the slam, I feel. If the Shaker can hit a good slam, then maybe Empire can swing themselves back into this. But at the moment, it is obviously Vega's game. Lose.
I feel as though Vega have a very good understanding of the heroes right now, like what heroes work well against what compositions.
No one's going to come in as well. Resolution's going to run himself out of the way. Matt, look at the rope just before the missile comes out. Look at the shot right back by Resolution. Goes back with the snowball as well, trying to find the tough toe. Starting now, starting across the BKB. Bashu, he's closing in. They're going to try and look for more. It's a remnant forward. They're not done here, Vega. They're going to the gyro contact. Now getting themselves back here as well. 77 seconds on the sidelines now. They'll be right back here on the front. They're just going to the fountain here. Dominating Resolution. For a unit. Going to get himself back in the
Radiant's
fountain.
middle tower is
No one's
under
just ready to
attack.
start bouncing diving. Don't dive like this.
Alright, it's over. So, Nick really it's over. So at the end of the game, just to swag all over Empire, Big buys a refresher in the well, pops Necro again, and just roars. It still manages to live because of a grave from Seema, so they don't even end up getting that kill. I think. Okay, so there's a lot of reasons why you lose a series, right? You either get outdrafted, you get outplayed, a combination of both. I think it was both in both games for Vega. Like, they just seem to be on another level, I think, than Empire right now.
It certainly seemed that way. They just played better. They made the better decisions kind of towards the later stages of the game. We saw in the mid-game,